Righto. G'day, welcome back. We're here with Angus Barrett. I'm Angus Barrett, and today we are talking about our work belts, our knives, and our pocket knife pouches. Okay, so firstly with the belts, we'll run through it real quick. We've got the Hobble belt, the Ringer's belt, the Hobble knife belt, the Ringer's knife belt, and we have the Eakin, the Paulie Eakin. Now the Eakin, this is the modified Eakin, it's E-A-K-O-N. Now the Eakin is made out of very heavy twice tanned leather. Okay, so when I say twice tanned, it's tanned once in with a chromium tan or chromium base, and then it has a second tan which is called a veg re-tan. So that gets you a very strong leather, but then the veg softens it up and breaks it. The veg tanning process, or the veg re-tan, softens the leather up a little bit as the vegetable matter goes into the leather. There's a stainless steel buckle, stainless steel tongue. It's a brown, dark brown leather. It's 38mm or 39mm wide. It's tapered around the ring so it fits your head. It has a button close knife pouch. That's the block that we make. These are the fed Eakin. This is the real McCoy, the Paulie Eakin. And then they just take a knife. I won't put that knife in there because it's a little bit big for that pouch. It fits, but anyway, I put one in there. They're made tight. This knife takes the large knife. There are two sides of this knife. Excuse me jumping around, but you've got a small and large. Anyway, that's the Eakin. Now the Ringer's belt, it has a open end knife pouch. This belt's made out of a Hermano harness leather. Now, I'll just say this while I remember, all the belts are different thickness leather. They're all the same width, they're all the same design, they're different sizes and they're different thicknesses. The reason I make them different thicknesses, okay, for the big fella or the big boy or the big lady, I'll make a thicker piece of leather, right, like around 5.5, and that's a big piece of leather that can take a fair bit of doing up, right, and then for the littler person, the thinner person, I'll make a thinner piece of leather, I'll split the leather and make it thinner, and it'll be like around the 4.2 or the 4.4. And the reason I do that is so it's not so bulky on your hips. You know, the big fella doesn't want a little belt, the little fella doesn't want a big belt. So the 32s are thinner than the 44s. Anyway, back to the Hermano harness Ringer belt. Okay, so this is a lovely harness leather. It's a Hermano, it's tanned in St. Louis. Now this will be a bit harder to use. I've got to get this out, get him out. And this is, the knife goes in this one way, right? So when you get your knife, it goes in, the blade's got the middle blade, which is the sheep foot blade, it's got a little spring load in it, right? And I'll jump straight to the knife, right? On the blade, I don't know if I can try and hold this steady and see if it'll focus. It says, handmade in Germany for, yours truly, Angus Barrett. Got the swirl on it, so that the blade is stamped like that. These are made in Germany at the Robert Class factory by the bloke that I know there. I met him, and he makes these for me. We've mucked around with the knife to get them how we want them. I've got the main blade and the sheepfoot blade. They open on the near side here, and so that the nail mark is both on this side. So when you pull your knife out, I'll pull mine out to show you how it works. This is a slide-on pouch. I've got it on the Mustang belt. Slide it out, I've got one blade there, open it up, I've got the second blade there, open it up so that I can decide between the two blades, and then if I want to, I open it up for the other blade. They trust me to have a knife that's different. This one they gave me a special one, it's got a bottle opener on it. Fancy that. Anyway, there's only one of these made, I don't sell them. Anyway, this blade, when you open this one up, it's there so that you roll your knife over for your spade blade, which is usually your sharpest blade. Those people who might use it for marking cattle, if they're not using it, or lambs, whatever, something sharp, that's what that blade does. Anyway, back to the belt and the knife, the 3-blade knife. handmade in Germany for Angus Barrett. It slides in that side, right? It slides in and it's pretty tight to get started. I call it plier tight. That's because you need your pliers to get your knife out for the first week or so. Anyway, when you put this belt on, it goes around here. That goes through there, through the tail, and then this tail here goes down through the ring, which tucks in there, okay, so your knife's there. It's on your left hip. Now that one, needing pliers to get the knife out. There we go, pull it out. The reason it goes one way, now I call it step down, no, blade down, step to the front. I'm calling that the little step, and that when I make the pouches, I make these blocks, I cut them, and we file them up so they're the same as the knife, and we block every pouch so the pouches are blocked. And it goes in there. I didn't come up with this, I blade it. Agquip, you might be watching, he told me to put my blade down. You want to put your blade down so it doesn't fill up with dirt and water, makes sense? So all our pouches are made now, so the blade goes down. Anyway, that's the way that knife goes, in that pouch on the ringer knife belt. That's how the belt goes. I don't really mind how you wear it, you might want to put it over your shoulder. MacGyver put one on his shoulder once. Anyway, that's that belt. Now the Hobble belt, it has the knife in the centre between the two rings. Once again, blade down, step to the front. It goes around. The tail goes through the buckle and back through there, same thing, so it sits like that. This is made from a skirting leather. This is an AB skirting leather. It's a magnificent leather. This leather, this is the result of 20 years. This leather is a result of 25 years of leather work. All right, this tannery makes this leather for me. It's actually called an AB skirting. It's incredibly dense leather, you might have heard, but I'm really particular about the raw materials that come into our workshop, like incredibly particular. Some of my suppliers may even call me painful, but I can't make you a good belt if I don't have good leather. So I insist on it. And that's how that belt goes, that's the Hobble belt. You can use it to tie up whatever you want, but if it breaks, just remember you're using a belt to tie something up. If you want to tie up like a horse or a bull, I'd be using a bull strap or some knee hobbles. But these are dinner hobbles. I'm sure you all know how they go. If you don't, I'll just show you real quick. That'll make you a set of dinner hobbles, so if you want to throw the quart pot on and just pull your pony up there for a little bit, that'll work. But if he's a bit rank and he goes to town jumping around, you might need a new belt and horse. Depends on what paddock you're in. Anyway, that's the Hobble belt. The Hobble belt, the Hobble knife belt, the ringer knife belt, and the Eakin knife belt. We have just the plain ringer belt, which is exactly the same belt without the knife, and we have the Hobble belt without the knife. Now why you might want one without a knife, if you carry a knife, is because you can have one of these cool slide-on pouches. I was going to show you mine, but I'd have to undo my pants. So what? I'll do it. So I put mine on this belt, that's my pouch, right? So if I go to an airport, I fly a little bit, and if I want to fly somewhere, I take that off. Or maybe I've got to go to a wedding, and I don't really have another belt, because I've only got one. Or I might even need to go to a funeral and I don't feel like taking my knife, so I can wear the same belt to most parties. Not that I go to many parties. Either way, it just slides on and off, and that I actually like that option. Some people like it on there permanently because they just have a work belt. I wear the one belt everywhere I go. So you can buy one of these belts and have a slide-on pouch. The pouches, you've got a button closed pouch, which is the same as the Econ, not Econ, and it takes these knives just as well, which are all prepared. I put a little hole in the bottom so that you can push it out with your thumb or your pliers if it's new, and they go. So you can put these ones on your belt, and it can go, vertically. or horizontally. So if you put it on your left hip, you'd have it facing that way. So, you know, if you're running through the scrub, it mightn't come over. Or if you want it on your right hip, you'd roll it over that way. Or if you like it up and down, you'd have it up and down, whichever way. They come in two colours, dark natural and natural. They're made out of the AB bridle leather or the AB skirting leather. You can have either brass or stainless steel. Okay. Now you have the slide-on pouches. You have a small, which would take our small knife. This one's a pretty cool one. I've got two of these that I'll show you. You got this one. I just dressed it up a little bit and put a little bit of hand carving on it. Hopefully that's holding still. Don't know. That's just the plain old Joe. He's a beauty. Let's slide over your belt. And then here's the other one, which is the hand carved. I don't do many of these. Every time we do a run of knife pouches, Jimmy sits maybe 10 or 20 beside, and I just carve them up when I've got a second, wet the leather and carve them up. So every one of them is unique, individual, and that's our knife pouches. Now the knives. The knives are very special. They're all wooden handles or horn, stag horn. Okay? So every single knife is unique and individual. This isn't plastic made look like wood, this is wood. So this is olive wood. Okay? No, it's not olive. That is ebony wood. Okay? So it's a wonderful wooden handle. It's actually ebony wood. Google ebony wood if you want to find out about the ebony wood. It's a very hard wood. We also have the snake wood. I've lost one here. There we go. That's the snake wood. It's got this really cool print. There's the light. Hopefully you can see that. That's the ebony and the snake wood. Of course, you can always find these images on the website. I know Sarah puts on a lot of good images with high detail, so you'll be able to find them. And there's the little one, the little blade, the little snake wood, and larger snake wood. Okay, they're all stamped. How you know they're a real McCoy, the Angus Barrett knife, is because they're handmade in Germany for Angus Barrett, so if it's not stamped on the blade, don't believe it. And we also have an olive wood. So you've got the olive, the snake, and the darker one, the ebony. The olive wood is a softer wood, and you can feel it. It's got it feels beautiful. I really like it actually. The harder wood, so the snake wood, it's like really silky and really shiny because it's very dense and very hard. And it feels to me like that ebony wood is the least hard of the lot. Maybe someone should Google it, but I think that olive wood's definitely a lighter weight one. Okay, so now they're called the scales. The outside of the blade, we have the main blade, right? We have the spay blade, which is the pointy one. And we have let's turn the knife over now, that's what I was talking about earlier. We have the spay blade, did I do that? No, sheepfoot blade. Start again. Main blade, the big long one, all day, every day. The sheep's foot blade, which has got the point on it, so cutting something that's stuck into something, you know, a bit of PVC or something that you've got to carve out. And then the spay blade, which has got that rounded one there, which you sharpen right up, and that's for cutting. And those three blades, forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, down to the last one, which is, the scale, sorry, the three blades and the scale. So the outside is called the scale of the knife, okay? So we've got the three different types, the black scale, the olive scale, and the snake scale. And we also have the stag horn scale. These are all very, very different. And now what happens is on these other scales with those three wooden ones, they're all the same size, so they all fit in the pouches really well consistently. If you're really, really hard on knives, or you might want a really tight knife, you get the stag horn knife because they're a bit thicker in the handle, and they've got a really aggressive print on the outside. And if you've got a bigger hand, you might like a bigger knife in your hand. That's the stag horn. But they're all guaranteed here. I've forgotten what the steel is, but if you ever want to ask, I do have it written down. We've got all the details on everything. They're made for us, they come with our warranty, which is good. That's about it. Knives, leather, belts, designed to work, made to last.